Hey YouTube, this is new video, 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Anyway, had to replace the radiator. It was actually leaking right from the top. It was spraying like right out here. Not this one, obviously this one over here. This is the junk one. Briefly, when you finally get it apart, you need to save the tabs that are on these. That's where you re-screw the fan mounting back in. This connector, a bitch. Essentially, it's broken now, and it connects inside right here. And it had this red tab that went across here. There was also this piece covering the whole thing. You have to pull that tab out. Then it's supposed to pull apart. Didn't pull apart very easily, so I broke the top off. I plan on sticking it back together and trying to tape it up. Hopefully that will hold. While I was changing out the radiator, I decided to also do a brand new water pump and thermostat inside here. When I got it all apart, I don't have the manual, but to save you guys all from trying to buy the book or look it up, 22 foot-pounds is what you need to torque. Set for 22 right there. Looks like a little more right now, but anyway, 22 pounds is what you torque these bolts for the thermostat, and also the water pump needs to be torqued to 22 foot-pounds. That'll either save you 130 bucks for the book or a lot of time trying to find it. Pulling out this whole thing comes out in one piece, so don't try and take the fan off, which I tried to, but then there's this bolt down here, and then there's another one on the other side. You can't even get to them, either from underneath or whatever. Anyway, I didn't realize you don't even need to take it off. You can keep this all together. Again, once you take the serpentine belt off, if you lost your sticker, that's how it works, to put it back on. And I haven't put mine back on yet. I plan on it. I had to take this off to get to behind here. There's this tube right here that goes up behind this. As you can see, I haven't finished connecting it yet, but gotta connect that back up. But you need to take this off in order to get to the bolts there, to do that. And when you put the water pump, if you do a water pump, put the water pump back together, this also comes off. And once I get the bolts off, sometimes it's a little tough. You can just use like a little pry bar and just pry it off. It comes right off, no big deal. Make sure you pay attention to, you got to clean off all of this stuff. Scrape off. I used various scrapers and your razor scraper, whatever. Sandpaper, because you want to get that really clean, because that gasket that goes back on there is going to keep all the fluid inside. Put the gasket on correctly. There's also a gasket in here. Same thing, you scrape all the old stuff off, and so on and so forth. There's only 2 bolts for this one. That just disconnects pretty easily. Just a little clip comes off, and that was probably one of the easiest parts of the whole job. I haven't disconnected the negative battery cable. Should have, but I have issues with this cable, so I haven't done it. Yet. Taking it on and off is a pain in the butt. So again, water pump, thermostat. Thermostat, when you put it back in, you have to make sure that it seats properly. There's a little edge inside there. If it's down or up or sideways at all, it's going to screw the whole thing up. So you have to put it in very carefully, kind of hold it until you push that whole thing against. Put one of the screws in, start tightening it down before you let pressure off, and then it'll be all set. These are kind of a pain. Again, back to the water pump. Make sure you put this hose back on and the clamp and this back on before you put the water pump back on. So this hose and this, screw that back in and have it directing that way before you put that whole thing back on. Otherwise you have to take it off again. I didn't do that, fortunately. These lines right here that come from your, I think this is air conditioning, but these lines right here, these coolant lines that like go to your, I think your transmission and so on, kind of get in the way when you're pulling the whole thing out. Again, I used just this longer pry bar and kind of gingerly maneuvered them out of the way. So it's a little bit of a trick, but you totally can do it. There's these hoses down here that are connected. I tried taking them off. As you can see, up here there's the clamps. I thought I would have to take them off to pull this whole thing out. You don't have to, so now I'm going to have to crawl back under and make sure everything's back together. Couldn't even get them off anyway. I pulled and pulled and pulled. It was a friggin' nightmare. So luckily I didn't get them off. I got one of them off underneath. That one I'm going to have to put back on. That one came off kind of easy. Makes a mess. I'm doing it outside because I didn't want to destroy my garage. So I can wash all the crap off the ground after. You also had to take, there's a piece that goes all here, comes right off. Obviously you see the front grill's off. The two bolts that hold this hood lock down come off. And when you put this back together, those bolts right there bolt up right there and there. So that's why you had to take the front grill off to be able to get to those. I've seen some people on YouTube have taken out the headlights. You don't really have to. You can if you want to. I just didn't. And you know, they say it gives you more room. I don't really think the room is necessary. Anyway, you have to drain it first. It's kind of a pain in the butt. If you can get like some sort of hose that will hook onto the bottom of here and shoot the water into a bucket or something like that. I didn't have that, so I made a makeshift. I just had a piece of PVC, and I had to lay under there and hold it the whole time. Pretty much that's it. That's what it looks like. 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Again, I just mounted the fan and everything back on, so this will just drop right down. Hopefully it'll go easily, and it has these slots right here. See that little slit? See that? Sits on it after, so you have to kind of get this whole thing out of the way, and it all rests down on that bar there. Anyway, once I get it back in here, should be you know, just jimmying it around, making it seat properly, and that's it. I also had to take off the air handling here, pulled that off because it was all in the way, pain in the butt. And that's it. Just try and keep track of all your bolts and screws and so on, where they went. That's it. So again, 22 foot-pounds for these bolts, and the bolts for the water pump if you end up doing that. Belt tensioner bar you're supposed to have to get the belt back on. I manually pushed it down to get the belt off. It wasn't that big a deal. Again, I had all this room to do it, so we'll see how it is getting it back on, but I don't think I'll have a problem. I looked for, this is like a star, and went and got one, started using it, and as you can see, snapped right in half. So I was kind of upset. That took me like an hour because I had to go buy this stupid thing, and it didn't even last, you know, 10 minutes. As soon as I stuck it on the wrench and went to pry it down, it just snapped. It actually gets stuck in there. So they make a specific bar for this. I just didn't have it. Again, you can just kind of push down on it. So anyway, that's about it. Almost done. Hopefully I will be done in a short period of time here. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to hit me up on YouTube, ask any questions. I didn't use really any major parts. I did buy a few new tools. One in particular was this torque wrench. You can get it at Harbor Freight. I think I paid 22 bucks for it. you need it in order to torque it to the right specs. Otherwise you're going to have issues of leaking and so on, and you don't want to have to go through this all over again. So that's about it. All right, YouTube. Rate, comment, subscribe. Hit me up on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Good luck.